Welcome to this urgent update on the Iran-Israel conflict. The Middle East is once again facing the threat of a major war, and in the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly what's happening, why it started, and where it might go next. Stay tuned for the full picture. On June 13th, 2025, Israel launched a surprise military campaign named Operation Rising Lion. It began with targeted airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites, missile factories, and key military infrastructure. Fighter jets and drones hit critical locations including Isfahan, Fordow, and Natanz, some of Iran's most secure nuclear facilities. According to military analysts, the strikes were highly coordinated, and several of Iran's air defense systems were already sabotaged before the attacks even began. Many believe Mossad had been preparing the ground for weeks through internal agents. Within hours, satellite images showed widespread destruction across Iran's nuclear development zones. Fuel enrichment facilities were destroyed, and underground bunkers reportedly collapsed. Iran's nuclear program has been set back by at least 2 to 3 years, according to Israeli sources. Iran's response came quickly and forcefully. Within a day, over 150 ballistic missiles and more than 100 armed drones were launched toward Israeli territory. While Israel's Iron Dome and Arrow missile systems intercepted a large portion of them, several made direct hits. Cities like Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Beersheba suffered heavy impacts. One missile struck a hospital in Beersheba, injuring dozens and creating panic among civilians. As a result of these attacks, at least 24 Israeli citizens were confirmed dead, with more than 100 injured. Emergency services worked through the night, and air raid sirens continued for 48 hours nonstop. Shelters were packed, and flights in and out of Israel were suspended temporarily. On the Iranian side, the damage was far more severe. The health ministry in Tehran confirmed that over 430 people had died since the Israeli strikes began, and more than 3,000 were wounded. Civilian neighborhoods close to military and nuclear sites were hit hard. In cities like Isfahan and Qom, power outages and fires added to the chaos. Thousands of residents have been displaced. Videos on social media show people fleeing their homes, trying to find safety far from the conflict zones. Israel also targeted high-level Iranian military leadership. 2 senior commanders of the Quds force, General Saeed Azadi and Commander Behnam Shahryari, were reportedly killed in precision strikes. These leaders were considered essential to Iran's external operations in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. Iran has vowed to avenge their deaths and has already begun mobilizing additional forces across its borders. The international response has been mixed. The United Nations has called for an immediate ceasefire, while the Organization of Islamic Cooperation held an emergency meeting in Istanbul. France and Turkey have offered to mediate, but so far, neither side is backing down. Iran has made it clear that no talks will take place until Israeli strikes are stopped completely. In Washington, President Donald Trump announced that the U.S. would decide within 2 weeks whether to support Israel militarily. Early reports suggest U.S. missile defense systems are being moved closer to the region. However, Iran's foreign minister warned that American involvement would escalate the situation dramatically and could trigger regional warfare. Experts warn that the conflict may expand. Hezbollah has so far remained silent, but any sign of Israeli aggression in Lebanon could pull them into the fight. At the same time, Gulf states are watching closely as Iran might consider disrupting oil shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz. A regional war would not only bring more bloodshed, but could also crash global oil markets and bring the world economy to a halt. Israeli forces have already mobilized 70,000 reserve soldiers. Iran has issued a nationwide call for volunteers and is preparing defense systems in its western provinces. Militias allied with Iran in Syria and Iraq are also being activated, raising the risk of a multi-front war. The situation is fragile, and any misstep could lead to direct conflict between superpowers. As we speak, negotiations are stalled, the missiles keep flying, and both countries are digging in. Will diplomacy succeed? Will global pressure be enough to stop this from becoming a wider war? Or are we looking at the early stages of something far more dangerous. Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. The coming days will shape not just the future of Iran and Israel, but the stability of the entire Middle East. Thanks for listening. If you found this update useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real-time news and global analysis. Stay safe.